A message here says, I was with my man for 5.5 years and everything was fine. We were so close that people mistook us for a married couple. We hid nothing from each other and did everything together. We established this solid relationship where we could talk about anything and everything, solve our issues, apologize, make up. He came to see my family, knocking. We were supposed to get married on the 2nd of May this year. It was announced in church, but due to COVID-19, we postponed it until further notice. He started acting shady somewhere in February. He didn't call me like he used to. When I call, he either shuts me up or rudely told me that he was busy. He became very distant and difficult to reason with. I complained to the marriage counselor at church, and she spoke to him. He accepted his faults, promised that he will do better. It rather went from better to worse. During the lockdown period, I kept complaining. When I visited him, he acted as though I was a bother. I asked him on several occasions whether we are still an item, and he says yes. He said he was still interested in the marriage, but was still being distant. Can you imagine? He called off our marriage ceremony on the 5th of July after an argument we had over a lady's picture that he had used on his wallpaper on his phone. Long story short is that I suspected that he was cheating on me during the lockdown, and he confirmed it to my mom just a few days ago. I gave him 2 months to rescind his decision because I couldn't lose what we had built. I knew he still loved me, but was just angry at me. It seems he's made up his mind. I heard there's a legal process I can start to receive some compensation. Please advise. All right, Sabi, let me come to you with this one. I don't know what you'll think about it, but guy's just acting shady.
There's a lot in this message. There's a lot. And most of it, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not being too blunt. You know, there's something powerful. It's not called women's intuition for no reason, right? We have intuition. We know what we know, what we know. Firstly, all the things she's talking about, so she knew. Then she went and complained. She gave him 2 months, all of these things. The girl knew that brother man was doing other things. She knew. But I think that she told herself, I've given so much of my life to him. 5 years is such a long time. We were supposed to get married. The embarrassment of it all. What's going to happen? You know, there's something about, I meet couples sometimes, and I come to this conclusion that people might be in a relationship, but 2 people are having a different relationship. So we're together, but we're having 2 different relationships here. You see how she described the relationship? Mm-hmm. She described the relationship according to her viewpoint. It's not his. It's according to hers. And for me, you're dating for 5 years. There is lockdown for a few months, and all of a sudden he changes. That didn't just start then. No. It didn't just start then and then. It's either it started way before, or there's been someone in the background, or he met someone, and for him it was like, ooh, I've made a mistake. But he didn't have the guts to tell her, or was hoping that she was going to get the signs and leave on her own accord. So for me, I'm like, also the last part about, what did she say? Compensation.
Yeah.
Compensation for what? Do you know what I mean?
For wasting her time, no?
But did he waste her time? She was a participant. She was a participant in the relationship. She wasn't held to ransom. And the reason now she wants compensation because she's hurt. My thing is, grieve, sister. Just start the grieving period and also reframe it. Be thankful that you didn't marry him. Be thankful that you didn't marry him. I know when you're in pain, it's hard to look at the brighter side. But I promise you something. This is a blessing. Walk away. Don't try to get compensation. You weren't held ransom. You participated. You wanted this man. And look, it hurts, right? When someone no longer wants you, it hurts. But just walk away. Keep it moving.
Right. Okay. Keep it moving. Gail, do you agree? Walk away?
I agree. And I agree with her about the compensation thing. I don't know, I don't want to sound a bit biased, but when it comes to women, I feel like because they say women have to wait for them to be asked out, it's like they put everything on the guy. But you should know that it's your choice as well. You should be responsible for choosing the guy as well. So if you say he owes you something, I don't know why, because you enabled him, and as you said, you were a participant in the whole thing. I mean, you spent time with him, you call him and everything. That's your choice as well. So you wasted your own time, because if you put a blame on him, then that means you don't have a mind of your own, and you are just looking to him to fulfill you. Like people always say, find someone who fulfills you or completes you. I beg to differ. Be complete on your own before you find someone.
Right.
Even if you're selling, like I said, pure water, living in a hen coop, let it be something that you have control over. You have to be your own boss, your own person, so that when you get into a relationship, you're not going in for the person to like I said, complete you, but to add on and grow with the person. So when the person is no more in the picture, you don't lose much.
Right.
You're still able to stand on your own feet, even if it's in your own small corner. Do you understand? So that's a mistake a lot of women do. You should know that you should choose a guy based on certain standards, like I keep saying. If that guy doesn't tick your boxes, don't focus on the fact that it's all about just the cheating. A lot of people just think that as long as he's not cheating on me, everything is fine. How about mental abuse? The guy is also manipulating you by gaslighting you, like I always say. You were suspecting I was cheating, but he was lying about it, so you push. So that's what you even have to worry about. The guy's not even transparent, but you're worried about the cheating. A lot of people think as long as it's just cheating, then we are okay. But you can be with somebody for 20 years and there's no cheating and you still have a crap relationship because there's no respect, there's no transparency, there's no substance, like I always say. So I agree with her. When you feel like your relationship with somebody is costing you your peace of mind and your sanity, you don't have to be there. Because like I said, it's two people who are deciding to build a life together. And everybody has to feel like, have your peace of mind in there. So if you feel you have to like prove yourself to the other person, you have to let the person go.
Right.
You always have to choose yourself because you've all you got. And your happiness depends on you, not anybody else.
Okay. Rosina, looks like you have the final word on this one.
Okay. I completely agree with Sabi. You should be thankful. I always say that marriage is not a joke. And even though getting into marriage is usually very rosy, we're in this together, divorcing is a different conversation on its own. Even though you can decide today that I want to get married today, you can't just decide on your own that I want to get divorced. The court can tell you that, we don't think you've really finished exhausting your issues yet, so stay in there for a while. And it costs money. So you should be thankful that you're not getting married to him. Number 2, the longevity of your relationship should not be a guarantee for your marriage, especially a successful marriage. So you see a lot of ladies are caught in this trap of we've dated for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. My question is that after a couple of years, you should know whether this is something you really want or not and get it moving. Don't waste your time for 5 years, unless, of course, you are so young and you're waiting to grow a little or whatever, but whatever it is. And no matter what, until you are married, you don't have any I don't know what to say. You don't have any, until you are legally married or legally binded together, you can't claim that person really for your own. You're still dating, you're still seeing things. Now, some men, maybe during the lockdown, let's assume he's weak and then he did a few things that he shouldn't have done. When you catch him or when you find out, there's a way he should react, even if it was a moment of weakness. But he's reacted in a way where he doesn't care. And for me, that's why I completely agree with Sabi that this didn't start only during the lockdown. This probably started long ago. He was hoping that you get the message, but probably 2 families were involved. And 2 families were doing, you've been there for 2 years, 3 years, you make a beautiful couple, you do this, you do that. And you see, another thing is that, ladies, when you're dating somebody, you should be able to find things out, let's say, communicate, see how you gel and everything, but do not play the wife role. I don't know whether you understand me.
Absolutely.
Do not play the wife role. You decide everything together. You are doing things together. You are building together. Because when chips fall, it gets harder to swallow because you feel you have invested not just yourself, not just your time, but you've invested your intellect, your emotions, your psyche. Everything is in there. And you're already settled in there. You understand? Sometimes you need to hold something back. Because no matter how rosy a relationship is, when you get married, marriages, I don't know whether it's because of the fact that it's done and you have a certificate to prove that you've done it, things just sometimes, most of the time, go a little sour for a bit. Before, if both of you are mature or emotionally mature, you can handle it and then you get that balance and you can then begin to live like brother and sister who are doing intimate things. You understand?
Right.
But aside that, so all I'm trying to say is that, look, you probably thought you had a relationship for 5 years, but you're probably just going through the mechanical motions of do A, do B, do C, do D. Now he's showing you that, look, I really don't want this marriage, and you should be lucky that you found this out now. Otherwise, you could have been married, and on your wedding night, he's going to spend it with some other woman. What are you going to say? You understand? Right. And for this issue of compensation, yes, the legal framework allows you to claim compensation, but sometimes going through that process only hurts you the more. Because it's going to let out all your baggage into, like, everybody's going to see what you were up to, what did you do for him, how many years. A lot of ugly things are going to come out. He's going to come up with all kinds of reasons why you probably don't deserve the compensation, you held him against his will.
Right.
Look, so many things can happen. So all I'm saying is that, look, yes, compensation is good. It's interesting when you think about it, but the practical process can be daunting. And if you're not psychologically ready, it could even drain you more than not being with him. At least the fact that she's talking about compensation means that she's checked out of the marriage, which is good.
All right, Rosie.
But she shouldn't be filled with so much regret. She should just leave because she saved herself another decade, 2 decades, 3 decades of hurt, pain, agony, misery.
Right,
that's
Rosie.
all I have to say.
Sorry, we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to end this conversation. But what she's asking about is called breach of promise to marry. It's in Ghanaian law. Where if you can prove, or other people were witnesses to the fact that he promised to marry you and you've been doing everything a wife-to-be supposed to do, you can actually seek compensation in a court of law. So look into that if that's really what you want to pursue, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much, ladies, for making time. Sabby, Sabby, my darling, coming all the way from South Africa to join us on Sister Sister today. Really appreciate your audience. It's been great. I hope that we see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching Sister Sister on your favorite City TV. Now, don't forget, if you want some more exciting content, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. We call it the City Tube. And don't forget to click on the bell to receive notifications for fresh updates.
Sister Sister, every Friday at 9 p.m. only on City TV.